Welcome back to On Campus Sports and happy Halloween weekend. I'm host Tyler Abner with co-host Brandon Fudge and Rashad Stribling. We're going to do an extensive breakdown of the top 25 today. We're going to start off with Notre Dame at number 25. Do you guys like the positioning?
I like Notre Dame at 25. I think you can put them anywhere in the 25 to 30 range with the wins they have and the players they have. Everything is respectable. Nothing is too above average that I can see. It goes back to Tommy Rees as like the perfect example. He's a respectable quarterback, but he is not a top 10 quarterback, and that's kind of how I feel about Notre Dame as a whole.
I like Notre Dame as well. I think their marquee win was Arizona State. They beat a great Arizona State team. Arizona State took Washington State to the woodshed last night, and I think that's their marquee win. So I like Notre Dame at 25 to 30 as well.
Next, we have Wisconsin at number 24. I'm happy where Wisconsin is at. They've had some bumps in the roads. I think they're a very tough team. I thought they were going to give Ohio State more trouble than they actually did, but I do think they're one of the better Big Ten schools. I think they belong at number 25 or at least in the top 25. We'll see down the road if they can get better, maybe bust into the top 15, but right now I like where they're at.
I like Wisconsin as well. Wisconsin has the best running back, I think, in the country in Melvin Gordon, and I love the way he runs, so I like Wisconsin as well at 24.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. This is a good spot for them. They have the strong running game and then a defense that's all-out effort kind of defense, and those two things make a top 25 in my opinion.
Number 23, UCF, is the team, like the first team we get to that I think is a little underrated. They beat Penn State. They gave South Carolina everything they could handle. Then they beat Louisville. And I guess I'm just a little lost as to why they're so low, because Louisville got up very high for not having the type of schedule UCF has with out-of-conference opponents. So I think UCF belongs at least in the top 20. I would say maybe like 19, 18 would be a little better positioning for them. So we'll see in these next upcoming games if they can maybe get up there, because now I think they're going to win the American Athletic Conference now that Louisville's gone.
And they could. They beat a great Louisville team on the road, which is very hard to do. I think the voters are not sold on them yet because Louisville was the popular pick, but moving forward, they have a few good games left. They can run the table and maybe get to a BCS bowl game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tyler. Well, both you guys. I think they should be a little higher. I think they're more in the 15 to 20 Fresno State kind of realm. They have a good quarterback in Bortles and a good running back in Johnson, and they just shown that they can compete offensively and defensively with top 25 teams.
Michigan State now at number 22. I like where they're at. They are 7-1. So some people think they should be a little higher, but they did lose the only real tough opponent they played this year, which was Notre Dame. I think moving forward, like if they get Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, that's the team Ohio State fans do not want because they have a very good defense. So it would be interesting to see what Michigan State would do if they play Ohio State, and I think down the road they're going to. They have a big game this week against Michigan, so we'll see if Michigan State's for real or if they're, kind of a fluke.
And they do have a great defense. That's why I like Michigan State at 22. And like you said, this weekend they do play a big-time rival game in Michigan. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think they're where they're at. They should be at too. Elite defense, like you guys said, and that puts them in the top 25 realm. Their team as a whole is pretty young, and so look for them to get better as the season goes on.
Michigan now is at 21. Ohio State fans, I'm sorry, but I think Michigan's a little underrated. Minnesota's a good win because they're 6-2. They're climbing up the ladder. They're getting much better. So a 6-2 team beating them the way they've been playing is a good win for Michigan. They beat Notre Dame. That's another good win. I mean, they did drop the ball against Penn State, but Penn State's a tough team. They got kind of exposed when they played Ohio State, which made Michigan look like that was a bad loss. But I think they've done enough to at least get in the top 15 to 20 area.
Yeah, Minnesota's playing very they playing with a lot of passion because their coach is going through a lot of seizures. Minnesota. And so we'll see moving forward. They have a few good games left. They just beat Nebraska. So we'll see.
Oh, we're talking about Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Yeah, Michigan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for Michigan, I'll disagree a little bit, but only slightly. I think they're where they should be. They definitely deserve a top 25 team, but I wouldn't really put them up any higher. They just haven't shown me enough to deserve to be above any teams that are in the top 20.
Now going back to Michigan, I think they're very inconsistent. Michigan plays, you know, with Garnett quarterback, they have a great receiver. I just don't think Michigan has enough this weekend to beat Michigan State. So we'll see moving forward with Michigan and how that defense comes along as well and how they progress offensively too.
They're a very tricky team to prepare for because they play down to their opponent. So you can watch tape when Akron and UConn came close to beating them, but it probably won't do you any good because look what they did to Minnesota. They showed up, they beat Minnesota, I believe, 42-13, but that's the same team that almost lost to two not very good programs. So Michigan's tricky to figure out how to stop them because they're going to play down or up to whoever they're playing that week.
Yeah.
Yeah.